The mission today is to sharpen your swords and get you ready for battle. It's time to fine-tune your craft and make you the best in what you do. The mission is to equip you to help anyone purchase what they need. We'll share the best advice from the best in their industry. You'll be listening to a conversation you wish you had with the mentors you wish you had. Take what makes sense to you and makes you better in your career. You guys, Bruce Lee said it best. Absorb what is useful and discard what is not.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Commission Mission. My name is Micah Henderson.
And I'm Eric Gerace. And today I'm very, very excited to have one of my best friends, Micah. Not only is he a best friend, he was a mentor, and now he's my pastor even. So he has been involved in almost every aspect of my life and was so important in changing my life for the best, you know, and I cannot thank God in heaven enough for introducing me to John England at some point in my life. And we met working beach service, and then we parted ways. I left the beach service after we had the big oil spill, and I went into insurance. And I found out that through a mutual friend of ours that John was doing real estate. And so I set up a meeting with him, and we went to a restaurant. And now keep in mind, this is someone I've known for about 10 years at this point. You know, we sit down at this restaurant. We're about 15 feet away from each other and didn't even recognize each other. And when we did, I asked him a couple of questions, and he just started sharing his journey over the last few years. And the meeting went a lot longer than anticipated, but I knew I needed to hear it, and I knew it was important. And it wasn't our relationship at that time, but at the end of the meeting, I just gave him a hug and said, I don't know what you just told me, John, but I want to be a part of it. And he's gone on now to be the founder of Earthwaking University. They are building a village in Costa Rica. So you talk about what this guy has done. It's just amazing. And you'll see, I'm so excited to share him with the rest of the world right now, because just listening to him, it's like gold nugget after gold nugget after gold nugget.
People need to hear it.
Yep. So with that, Jonathan England, it's my pleasure and honor to welcome you to the Commission Mission podcast. And thank you so much for being here with us today. And I think I'd like to for me, what was most helpful was the mindset that you taught me. So I think that I want to kind of keep our conversation focused around mindset and how that's so crucial to new entrepreneurs or struggling entrepreneurs. So welcome, John.
All right. Hey, Eric. And thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you for having me on the show. Yeah, so my journey started, I was a broke, ignorant, blackout, drunk, atheist beach bum, just like all my friends. Eric was the same exact as well. So, but I had this moment in my life where I decided what I was doing wasn't working, and I needed to do something different. I wanted to take responsibility for my life. Now, I was like, well, how am I going to do that? What am I going to do? And I was a pretty lazy guy. I just like partying and, playing on the beach and things like that. So I'm like, I've got to figure out a way to make money, and I got to figure out a way to make money where it's not hard work. And so, so the questions are the answer. So we just have to ask the good questions. And when you get the good questions, you get the right question dialed in, then you can actually find the answer. So it's never, can I do something? It's how can I do whatever the thing is? And now that's a quality question, because it opens it up, and now you can step into the reality of it. So I was like, how can I do this? And the answer that I got was, well, 90% of all wealthy people, where do they make their money or have their money invested? Anybody want to take a guess?
Real estate.
So I was like, well, I'm going to play the odds here. So my best shot is to go with real estate. If that's where 90% of wealthy people made their money or have their money, then if I'm going to go for that, then that's where I'm going to do it. So I made that decision. And then the next step was, well, how do I do that? The next question, well, how do I do real estate? Because I don't have any money. I don't have any credit. I don't have any clue on what I'm doing. So how could I possibly do this? And so that question opened up, and then the answer was I found a mentor. So stop asking people who don't have what you want how to get what you want, because they don't know how to get it. They only know how to get what they've got, and what they've got isn't what you want. So you got to ask somebody who's already gotten it. So if you want to bake a world-class cake, you don't need 30 years to become a world-class chef. You just need the recipe. So I was seeking out the recipe, and I found a mentor, and I got the recipe, and then I just followed the recipe, and I took the steps. Now, it took me 6 months before I did my first deal in real estate. So before that, I was just, at the job, just over broke, right? Just doing what I needed to do just so I could pay my bills. And this was my first time leaving the job, the just over broke, and stepping into like entrepreneurship, stepping into like, rather than being the lion in the cage that gets the 3 meals a day, I'm stepping out of the cage. I don't know where my next meal is. I'm free, but I don't know where my next meal is going to come from. And it was terrifying, because our whole life we were indoctrinated and domesticated to be, just cogs in the machine, to only just kind of do what you're told. And, you do these things right here, and then you'll get that. So now all of a sudden it's all on me. Like, I'm responsible for my reality. It's like, I don't get to blame my boss for nothing. It's all on me. And so thank God whatever it was, blessed enough to find a recipe to go that route rather than trying to figure it out on my own. But so I had the recipe, but it took me 6 months before I did my first deal. Now, if you want to be a successful real estate investor, you got to do what successful real estate investors do. So in order to be a real estate investor, you got to buy properties. And in order to buy a property, there's one thing that you must do. You know what you have to do if you want to ever buy a property? You've got to put in an offer. The one thing that you must do is put in an offer. In those first 6 months, how many offers do you think that I put in? I didn't get any deals. How many offers do you think I put in? 0, not one. For 6 months, I didn't put in a single offer. And of course, I didn't get any deals. And why didn't I put any offers? Well, because I still didn't have the mindset of a real estate investor. Now at this point in my life, I've gone on this journey where I've like opened up to everything. Like I've gotten the recipes for health, wealth, happiness, relationship, spiritual connection, all aspects of reality on how it actually, operates. So you have an abundance in all aspects of your life. But one of the key components is you have to shift your identity, the way that you see yourself. So whenever somebody comes to me and they're sick, I've been able to heal people. Well, they heal themselves, but I've helped to hold the space for it. But the very first step that we always do is like, we got to shift your identity, because if you're identified, you think that you're a sick person, then even if you get healthy, you'll go right back to sick, because you're a sick person in a healthy body, and then you'll bring the body back to where you are. So the same thing with if you believe yourself to be if your identity is I'm a fat person and I'm going to go to the gym so I can get skinny. Well, that's where that yo-yo thing comes from, where you all of a sudden you get skinny, but now you're a fat person in a skinny body, and then you get tired after you're working your ass off for so long. Can I say ass on here? I don't know. I guess I just did it. So, and then you go right back. All of a sudden the body returns to the fat body again, because that's who you think that you are. So life is happening from the inside out. We were trained it happened from the outside in, but it actually happens from the inside out. But the training was so there'd be a carrot and a stick. So when you step into entrepreneurship, there's no more carrots and sticks from the outside. You got to create your own carrots and sticks. You got to get yourself off your ass, since I can say that. You got to get yourself off your ass to do the thing. But so for those first 6 months, I didn't put in a single offer. I said I want to be a successful real estate investor, but I didn't put in an offer. Now, what I would have said, the reason I didn't is, well, I didn't have any money. I didn't have any credit. How can I put in an offer? But again, you've got to do things from where you want to be, not from where you perceive yourself to be. You've got to do what the person who has what you want would do. So I could have logically explained it away why I didn't, but that wasn't even it, because I had recipes on how to put in offers, how to do it without money or credit. So it was even more than that. A little bit lower underneath that was actually the fears that, I was a fraud, like people were going to find out. So I was driving an hour and a half. Once a month, there was a real estate investment club. So birds of a feather flock together. Yeah. So remember, before I was a broke, ignorant, blackout, drunk, atheist beach bum. Guess who my friends were? The exact same thing. So now I've got to get myself into a new environment to tune myself to a new reality. So I identify myself differently, because the reason that I didn't put any offers in is because I didn't identify myself as a real estate investor. I still saw myself as a beach bum. And how I knew for certain that I still saw myself as a beach bum is because there wasn't a real estate investment club in my city back then in Panama City. That's where I used to live. I'm now in Costa Rica, but I would drive an hour and a half to Fort Walton Beach each way once a month to go hang out with real estate investors. That first month that I went there, I sat in the corner and I was terrified that somebody was going to see me. Like these real estate investors, they were going to see me. Now, why was I scared? Because they were all real estate investors and I was just a little beach bum hanging out in the corner. And if they saw me, I just thought they just could kick me out or something, Now that's not what they do at real estate investment clubs, but that had no idea because I'd been so trapped inside of what I thought life was like, that's what trapped me in the job, because the reality that had been programmed into me. So now I'm separating from that reality and I'm sitting in this group of other people. These real estate investors, they got their financial freedom. Some of these been doing it for 20, 30 years. And so I didn't see myself as one of them. That's why I was so I was ashamed, embarrassed. I didn't even speak. And so I showed back up a month later. And now I'd been really studying and I'm starting to understand a little bit of what these people are talking about, these investors. The third month I'd show back up and I'm like really getting, because I'm like all in studying, I got the recipe. I'm like really dialing it in. And I show up this third month and I'm like, I know everything they're talking about here. And so what's starting to happen is I'm starting to shift to where I'm starting to believe that I'm a real estate investor. And because I know I can speak the real estate investor language. I can say what they say. I can say the same words. I can understand what they're saying. So I'm starting to take on the identity. Well, then the fourth month, I'm like, dude, I could teach this. The fifth month, I'm like, I don't understand why I haven't gotten a deal. Now, we all know why I didn't get a deal because I didn't put any offers, but couldn't let myself see that yet. And so it wasn't until the sixth month I showed up, and on month 6, I'd been studying. I really had it all dialed in. And I'm looking around and I'm listening to these people talk, and I look over there. I'm like, I'm just as smart as that person right there. And that person right there, I know just everything they're talking about. I could literally teach this. And that person right there, yep, just as smart as. And that guy right there is an idiot. And if he can do it, I can do it. And you know what happened in that moment? In that one instant, I became a real estate investor. Because if he can do it, I can do it. See, I never believed until that moment. And all change happens in an instant. It's the moment that you decide, and decide means to cut off from all other options. So I made the decision that it is done. Now, I'd already made the decision previously that I was going to do this. I made the decision that I was going to do it. But this is the moment that I made the decision that I'm doing it now. And so I went back to Panama City, and the next morning I wake up and I got me a list of properties I'm going to go look at. And the very first one on my list, I had like 30 properties I was going to look at that day. The very first one on my list, it dropped $15,000 overnight. I looked at it the day before, and now it was $15,000 drop. So I showed up to that property, I walked up to it, and I immediately like, this is my first deal. But you know what had shifted? My identity. Now I was a real estate investor. And you know what? I'm like, that's my first deal right there. And what did I do? I immediately put an offer in. And the broker was like, well, because this was back in 2010. And so there's like short sales and stuff were going on back then, but a lot of them were just like all falling through. So this was a short sale. And so the broker, and I didn't really know that much about short sales or anything, but the broker was like, don't get too excited. It's a short sale. It's probably not going to go through. And then 2 weeks later, they're like, all right, you got the deal. Like, where's your money? And I didn't have the money, but I was like, well, I got the deal. I'm going to find this money. And so I found the money. It was like, 40, I think it was like either $45,000 or $54,000. So I found the money. I got that first deal. And I thought I was going to make 30 grand off of it. But after I'd done it, and I it wasn't that much work that I'd do. I did most of the work myself, like painting and, it wasn't a whole lot. But I wound up selling the property. Oh, one of the things that happened is I kind of jumped the gun on saying, yes, I'm going to buy this property. And I never went and looked at the area at night. So when I was over there working on it every night, there was drug deals going on right across the street. I'm like, oh crap, this isn't what I thought. And so I just, as soon as I got it done, I probably still could have made the 30 grand. I don't know. But I guess because of what I saw was going on, I'm like, I just got to sell this thing. I got to get out of here. And so I dropped the price and I sold it the moment it was in a few days, I'd offer accepted. And this is, again, back in 2010, where it wasn't a hot market. And so I wound up making $17,000 off that first deal. And then my second deal, I bought a property in Lynn Haven, a house. I bought a house, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Lynn Haven. Are all the audience here in Lynn Haven or in Panama City? Are you guys, is this mainly, or is this national? Is this Panama City?
All over the place.
This will be national.
All over the place. Okay, cool. So, well, if you know about Lynn Haven, check this out. I bought a house, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Lynn Haven for $10,000, 10 grand. So if you've ever been Lynn Haven, you're like, there's no way you did that. Well, I did do it. And you know how I did it? It's because I didn't know I couldn't. Have you guys everybody's heard of beginner's luck. You know what beginner's luck is? Beginner's luck is you just don't know that you can't do it. You don't know that you can't do it yet. It hasn't got programmed in. So it's all about the mindset. Everybody say it's all about the mindset.
It's all about the mindset.
All about the mindset. That's right.
It's happening from the inside out. So I believed I could do it. And so it happened. And I got that first deal. That second deal was 10 grand. And I made $70,000 off that house I bought for 10 grand. Pretty not bad. When my best year, my entire life, working for an entire, like a 7 days a week, like working for an entire year, my greatest year ever before that was $35,000. By far, my best year was 35 grand. And now I just did one deal, made 70,000. I'm like, whoa. So then I got my third deal, but you know what? I was still terrified this whole time. Even after I'd done that, when I got that 70 grand, I'm sitting there like looking around. I feel like I got punked or something. Like I felt like I was like a hidden camera show, and somebody's got either I did something illegal and they're going to find out and I'm about to go to jail, or there's like somebody hiding around the corner just like, just kidding. None of that really happened. Like, because it just didn't make sense to me how I could make $70,000 so easy after having to work my ass off for so long. And then this happened because I'd been programmed to believe if I wanted to make more money, there was two things that I had to do. I had to work harder and work more. Those are the two things that I told that's what I believed I had to do. And because that's what I believed, that's what happened. But once I shifted the beliefs, now all of a sudden I got a new reality because I was acting according to my new beliefs. But it was still because we do the wrong thing so long that the right thing feels wrong. It felt wrong to make that much money doing hardly anything. And it was like, I just kept waiting for the shoe to drop. Like this can't be. And then I got my third deal. Let's see, what was my third deal? I can't remember which house it was, but I think I made like 25 grand off that one. But I still was questioning the whole time. I'm like, it's all gonna fall through. And I kept looking back, like I'm gonna have to run back to doing what I made 100 grand now, and I'm still like, I know I'm gonna have to go back. It's like I'm just getting lucky. It's just all luck. But once I had the recipe and I had the beliefs, I just kept going and I kept going and growing and growing and growing until I even outgrew, I outgrew money is really what happened to me at that point. I'm like, well, shit, this is like, wasn't really as big of a deal as I thought. So most people, like when it comes to money, people don't even realize it, but they put it up on a pedestal when it's literally nothing. It's literally not. And so they make it big. They make money bigger than them. Like you're bigger than it. Literally bows down to you. It's nothing. It's just, it does whatever you tune to. So money doesn't come from people. It comes through people when you tune to it. So how do you tune to it? You shift your identity. I'm a wealthy person because we got this thing in our mind. It's called the psychocybernetic mechanism. It's a thermostat in your brain, basically. So it's part of your subconscious mind. We've got it for our health, our wealth, our happiness, our relationships, our spiritual connection. So it's back to when I was talking about the identity. It's what you see yourself as. Willpower will never overpower your subconscious beliefs about yourself. I'll say that again. Willpower will never overpower your subconscious beliefs about yourself. You've got to shift the identity, the beliefs about yourself, because you can fight your way to a reality, but I'm telling you, you'll wear your ass out, and all of a sudden you'll go right back to where you came from unless you shift the identity. So,
John,
shifting. Go ahead.
Yeah. That is an awesome story of the transformation of moving your identity, changing your mindset. And there's one element in there I want you to elaborate a little bit more on, and it's that recipe that you got from a mentor. And that's something that we're trying to accomplish here with the Commission Mission. We want to set people free to live their best life, to walk the path that they want to walk by making them successful. And so we're bringing them mentors just to give a little bit of their recipe, a little abbreviated version of their recipe. Sometimes it's hard for people to find a mentor. When you did that, how did you find your mentor? How did you decide which one? What was that process like for you?
So it was just ask and you shall receive. So I had made the decision that I was going to be a successful real estate investor. Once you made the decision, so that we manifest our reality with our subconscious belief systems. Manifest doesn't mean to create. It means to make obvious what is already there. What's wrong is always available. So is what's right. You choose what to focus on. What you focus on expands. So you're focusing with those beliefs. So all of a sudden I changed the belief that I'm going to be a successful real estate investor. So all of a sudden I could see opportunities where before I only saw problems. Now I can see an opportunity. So that evening, like it was right after I made the decision, all of a sudden there's an infomercial on TV. And I just saw the infomercial and this guy was like, have you ever in your adult life felt like you should be further along than you are right now? I said, yeah, that's me. And so he was talking directly to me because he was really good at marketing. So that's something that no matter when you're stepping out into, entrepreneurship, you've got to our marketing is a key that you've got to understand no matter what, no matter where you're going. That's the thing that's your goal right there. So this guy had nailed it because he understood me and he was talking to me. He knew me better than I knew me. And so that's why I knew he could bring me to where I want to go because he had what I wanted. And he had been where I was. And so that's what he was talking to me. And he made me an offer on this infomercial. And I took the offer. And now it was terrifying because I didn't have the money. It was $10,000. And the guy's trying to sell me no money, no credit real estate investing for $10,000. I'm like, I don't know if you understand your market, sir, because no money, no credit real estate. I don't have money or credit. That's why I need your thing so I can get the money and credit. But what he would have told me is like, no, the reason you don't have the money and the credit, like the reason that you say that you can't is the reason that you must. You've got to take the action because it's not a lack of resources inside of you, John. You're not lacking resources. You're lacking resourcefulness. You've got to find it in you. You've got to find the resourcefulness inside of you. So ask and you shall receive. The moment that you put it out there, then just open up and start looking and find the opportunity. But find somebody who's already got the results they produce. So you'll know them by their fruit. So find somebody who's got the fruit and who's been if they haven't been where you are, then they if daddy gave them the money, then
it's a different recipe. Yeah.
You can't use that recipe. So they got to be somebody who's been where you are and then still produce the fruit. Now they got a recipe. So that's the key ingredients is find the person. If they don't have the fruit, don't listen to it. They're not your person. But secondly, if they got the fruit in a way that's impossible for you, like daddy's money or something like that, then they can't help you either.
Eric says some things sometimes that blow my mind and have me thinking all day. And it probably comes from conversations with you. But what you just said, the reason why you can't is the reason why you must.
Absolutely.
Man, that is going to blow my mind for the rest of this day. But I like it.
Just imagine there's just an example on that. So somebody might say, well, I would really love to live my dreams, but I can't because I got kids. Well, that's the reason that you must, because your kids don't learn by what you say, they learn by what you do. And if you want them to live their dreams, you only got one shot at helping them do that. Leaders go first. You got to do it. You've got to be the change.
Yeah.
So,
man, that's really good. It's one I don't want to say paradox, but it's one of those things that you'll say sometimes. I'm like, man, it's like a concept to wrap your mind around, and I like it.
It sounds like a paradox, but it's Albert Einstein was the one who first said it. He said, you can't solve a problem at the level of consciousness that created it.
Oh man, see, there you go again. I'm gonna be thinking about that all day.
And so the level of consciousness that created your problem is the one where I don't have enough. I mean, it's even Bible verse in there. It's that there's a Bible verse says, those who have will be given more. Those who have not, even what they have will be taken from them. Now that sounds like, man, that's messed up. Why would you take from the people who don't have anything? Because because it happens from the inside out. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So when you don't think that you have, then of course you're going to take the actions that a person who doesn't have would take. But if you think that you do have, if you know that you have, if you're a have, then you'll take the actions and then you'll produce the fruit. You'll get the results. But it's going to become, it's the faith, the beliefs, and then the actions that come from those beliefs. So don't do things for your worthiness, do things from your worthiness. Don't do things for abundance, do it from abundance. You step inside of abundance and you take the action that the person who has what you want would already be taking.
I think that is the perfect way to wrap it up on whether you're, you call it a mindset, whether you call it consciousness, whether what else you refer to as your image or your identity, that you have to change how you see yourself before you can get what you're looking for.
Bam.
Man. John, I really appreciate you sharing. I mean, that was one big nugget. It wasn't lots of little nuggets. That was just.
They were sprinkled all in there. You don't even know what all you just got.
Yeah,
don't sell yourself short. That was a gold brick. The whole thing.
Yeah, there is a lot of things in there, and for anyone that what's amazing about John is they do these events constantly, free events, to where you can dive into this in a full
tell everybody
immersion.
Where they can find you. Yeah.
So at earthwakingvillage.com. You can go in there and create an account. It's really amazing. They use a platform, a social media platform that is not censored, can't be shut down, that they control. So they are building off the grid, self-sustained villages in Costa Rica. He's got a digital coin that they're launching soon, Nature Coin. It's just an amazing plethora. And like I said, he's my pastor on Sundays. So go to earthwakingvillage.com and check out and follow John. Check out Awaken Life Live. His event it's mind blowing. I mean, it's absolutely life changing what John's offering. And I really appreciate you being here today, John. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, John.
Much.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely welcome. Thanks for having me. So appreciate you all. And and I got a YouTube channel too. If you go to YouTube, Jonathan England.
Lay it on us.
Just go to YouTube and type in Jonathan England. I just started growing my YouTube channel, so I'd take this little plug here. I'm going to get to 1,000, so I just started growing it. So go in there, just Jonathan, and there's all kind of cool stuff I got on there, and it'll link you to all the my free book. I give my book away for free, and the live event again. It's a 2-day. There's a 2-day virtual live event online. So we got all the recipes. We've got recipes for health, wealth, happiness, relationships, spiritual connection, leadership, and purpose.
Yeah, that's how I got involved in real estate. Was John created a course called 5 Days to Freedom. Mm-hmm. And I joked with him, it should be 5 hours to freedom, because it was 5 1-hour videos.
But you have to stop and then do the action.
That walked you through the steps of starting wholesaling. And it was really funny. He mentioned about people not believing. He actually taught somebody. And like how John was saying, I don't know if I'm going to get this deal. I don't know if I'm going to get this deal. He taught a good friend of mine, mm-hmm. Quentin, on how to do wholesaling. And he had 2 properties under contract. And he calls John up one day and he says, hey, John, my cousins are telling me this is a scam. Yeah. And he says, this is not a scam. You're about to close 2 deals. And then so Quentin closed 2 deals, made $11,000 in his first 30 days. And he didn't have a checking account.
He didn't even have a checking account. Didn't even know how to write a check. And he bought and sold 2 houses.
Yep. And then those cousins changed their tune.
What's amazing about it, not only did those cousins change his tune, but they said, hey, we want to learn how to do this. So he taught his cousin, and his cousin did a deal. And within 30 days, she did her first deal and made $5,000.
Didn't think it was a scam then. Yeah.
It's a recipe that's important.
Exactly. So, John, thanks for your time.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
brother.
You're welcome. Appreciate it, everybody.
Love you, man. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, have a good one.
There's a couple things that I'm going to be thinking about all day. The reason why you can't is the reason why you must. And I'm going to be thinking about different scenarios of where that applies all day. And then him kind of going into that a little bit further, what Albert Einstein said about the problem can't be solved on the level of consciousness where it was created. Okay. Like, that's a big concept to wrap your mind around, and I'm going to be thinking about that all day.
And it's like the nuggets that you said that he has, it's just unbelievable. One of the things that I took from John early on about that, around exactly what you're saying, was when he and I met, and I was looking out to him like, hey, I need some help. I was broke. I had no money. And a big thing I kept saying was, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. And he's like, that's exactly why you need to do this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the topic of mindset.
Broke decisions lead to broke results.
Man,
Abundance
listen,
decisions
I can't think about more stuff today. You have to tell me that tomorrow, and I'll think all day tomorrow on that. But mindset, I keep on bringing up like universal principles that not only apply to entrepreneurs or anybody living the commission life, but everyone everywhere that applies to, and sharing his story of transformation from one mindset, the broke mindset, to where he is now, is just it's just proof of concept. And everybody starting off down the path of the life that they want to lead, they have to live it. They have to get their mind right. And
how you do one thing,
believe it.
How you do one thing is how you do everything. And so
tell me that 2 days from now, because I can't spend all day thinking about
gold
all this
nugget
stuff.
overload for Micah. But if you keep that in mind, that how you do one thing is how you do everything. Like some people will mention that they're good in this area, but not so good in this area.
Yeah.
But if you examine that a little closer, you'll realize
it's all really related.
They're about level on both things, and they're just fooling themselves.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed this episode of the Commission Mission, got a lot out of it. I hope you apply what you learned today and move you a little bit further down your path of success to live the life you want to live.
Thank you all very much for tuning in.
Tune in next time. Bye. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Commission Mission. It is our mission to increase your commission. If you got any gold nuggets out of the episode today, make sure you don't miss any more. Click like, subscribe, whatever that action is for the platform that you're watching this on. Make sure you don't miss any more good nuggets, and help us help you.
Yeah, one of the things that new or struggling entrepreneurs struggle with is asking for the sale, asking for what you need, and they're afraid of rejection. But I'll give you a sample of that exactly right now. Is if this helped you in any way, please share this with 3 friends of yours. 3 people that you think would benefit from what was discussed on these podcasts. And
friends in sales, anyone in your organization that can benefit from this needs to hear it. Thanks, everybody.